The rest of the team's got to be proud of him. East has been really consistent today as well. But for their Mongolian brothers, Stalwart can be very unhappy with how this one's going. Just cannot find themselves any kind of purchase in these games.
It's been tough. Just ticking over, just to keep them rolling on through, seeing what they can find.
But yeah, I dropping in no man's land up towards Campo Militar over there on the northeast side. Kind of crazy we're seeing so many teams dropping out on the central line of this plane and then just ducking out as far as possible. So much of this plane path not really used up. More than likely we're using the majority of this end tail. Again, our last match of the day before we head into tomorrow, which is the final day to accrue some points, the final day to secure your legacy going into next year as the champions of PMGC, alongside a boatload of money.
And the teams that are in that conversation have been changing so frequently. It's a bit of a mixer up there at the top of the tables, but the one team, well, two teams really, that have been the consistent presences up there. Alpha 7. Stalwart, no prizes for guessing those two names. Of course, they were always going to be relevant. Coming into this one, I think they were the only two teams that were a fix in almost everybody's top 3 predictions for teams to win this one. But outside of that, I think that third place was pretty much anyone's guess, other than mine. It definitely has a major pride.
As I've always said, one of my classic catchphrases.
Classic catchphrase.
Just you wait to see what 4MV can do on the stage.
Classic.
Say this all the time.
Yeah.
I'll say it again.
What are you going to say?
Just you wait to see what 4MV will do on the main stage.
Do you know what? I will.
Yeah.
I will wait.
You don't have to wait. It's already happened.
Oh,
they are blasting out of control like Team Rocket right now. They're going to the moon. See what they can get done on this final match. Can they bring themselves towards that top spot? But a circle like this one heads all the way over towards that western side on the north. Alpha 7 fairly central right now.
Over in El
Pozo, yes. I was going to say that.
Yeah, but I said it first, so. It's in El Pozo, S2G blinding that eastern side of the circle. Over in La Cobreria, on a bit of a split, DX Xavier. We haven't really seen that sort of a split be super impactful so far in the circles on Miramar that we've had, but potentially a chance here, but it is quite east-leaning. I'd imagine we're going to see DX Xavier move a little bit further to the west side of Crater Fields.
DX Xavier's split, man.
It's fine.
Oh, just
do you know who else does this split?
Reminiscing about Gladiators.
I was just going to bring them up. We have to. Once a day, at least.
A fun team. Definitely did not deserve to be here.
No.
Sadly.
In the end, their performance at the end of this season did lack the luster necessary to
Still makes me sad, though. Still makes me sad.
It doesn't feel quite like a global tournament without the lads. I mean, they've been together for so long. And let's stop talking about them now, because we'll just get sadder and sadder. Stalwart over on the east side, behind that S2G blockade on the east edge, very close to Loops and Titan Esports Club as well, who are getting a little bit mixed up with things near water treatment. Loops might have a little bit of trouble on their hands, but they'll seemingly move through one another without so much as interacting. Morph on the southwest side. Going to be moving up that west side coast. They've already actually sent Boboho all the way up there, so Pepenk and the rest of them are going to have to regroup up that edge.
Pepenk and the gang.
That's right.
Nice.
We are kind of doing Yoru and Cleon dirty here. A little bit.
I'm pretty sure there's someone in chat called Cleon.
Okay.
And the lore is that the player was
Where are you
named
going with
after
this?
him, but I'm pretty sure he just took his name
Okay.
and then has created this lore for himself.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah,
it's like, that's
it's
my
bold
name,
lore,
actually.
but I respect it so much.
Either way, it's an interesting story.
Yeah, I love it. I
if
love
that's
it
you,
to bits.
Cleon, in the chat, we know what we know your game.
We know your game, but also well done. But yeah, I think it's a curious split right now coming through from S2G. I like the way they've gone about this. They've sent 2 players up towards Creative Fields, and I think that's in the hopes of finding Levi's. Last time they only sent 1 player up. It didn't go terribly well for them. So this time around they sent 2. Kelsey has taken a couple of shots, so that should alert Levi's to the presence. But again, there's a couple more players to be dealt with in this location. So for S2G, could get the drop on DXavier. DXavier obviously dropping out of these top 3 that last game. Would like to reclaim their spot for Vietnam.
They have got a pretty wide split right now, given the number of teams nearby. And they have potential danger on the cards, but they have seemingly looked to get Lamborghini back closer to Paragin. Chaz bringing that rotation up as well. So only the 1 player still stuck nearer to S2G. Over on the east side, teams coalescing towards the middle now, fairly effectively and actually fairly respectfully of one another's position. No eliminations coming through just yet. A couple of trades, a couple of bullets being sent each other's way. But other than that, nothing dramatic. Alpha 7 in the middle of El Pozo, holding down the urban environment. Playing on that stadium. Levi's might be changing the peace agreement between the 2 of them. But has to back off that high ground. I spoke about the danger of being on this high ground before. You can't afford to get knocked.
You cannot afford to get knocked up here. It's a stressful experience. Sniper
K9.
rifle. Interesting. Could come in handy. Especially if you can tear the head off from Kelsey. He does spot some vehicles down below. That's Nongshim Red Force. I think Max makes a really good point on the desk there in the sense that all those central spots are just gone now. So many teams are claiming them quite quickly. As soon as you start to sense that the lobby is going more for a central focused style and meta, you just want to take those center positions as soon as possible. And those initial circle shifts can be quite influential in manipulating the way the game goes. Certainly this one, Alpha 7's having time of their life with it. The circle heading over towards El Pozo in the first place does mean they're going to be surrounded fairly quickly, but we know that they can hold their ground. It's Stalwart versus Nongshim. Decent nade over towards Wings.
Very good start. Taking that knock as well. Stalwart with their last chance today to prove that they are still worthy of those top spots. And we'll see if they can convert over onto Nongshim, who have been falling off today so far. Tizzy looks for the shots, and XZY with the angle onto top takes a lot of damage his way, but doesn't quite find what he's looking for. Not just yet. Top allowed to heal on up. And again, on the east side, Nongshim Red Force have got Pasija EVOS down towards the south side of them that they may have to worry about, but they're about 300, 400 meters out right now. So a little bit too far away to take those shots just yet.
Second shift on the circle. This could be a cruel one. Honestly, I'm hoping for a southwest hard shift. Love to see more of the mountain in, but
Wrong.
I've been denied. Up towards that north side once again. Towards La Coberilla. The fielded area down towards Crater. 4MV do need to get a bit of a move on here and down towards the south side. Behind Udo Alliance and battling versus Major Pride. Already finding Dino though, so 1 elimination found already. Dropping them up to 90 points now. Almost in the 3-digit lane alongside with Alpha 7.
Alpha 7, one of the main features of this southeast side near El Pozo on that route out moving north. 628 on the north side of all of this group of players. Gonna have a potential to try and just guard all of this out, but I'm looking at Stalwart's rotation wide blank, all the way out in the east, moving over the north side, past La Cobreria. They might be looking to try and challenge for some similar spots there. S2G in the meantime in the middle, getting caught out somewhat, naturally going to have to deal with Weibo Gaming as they crash on into the concrete here. Silas goes down, Arazi very, very low as well. Silas flushed away. As Senab is able to get the pick, actually, up onto that one. And Carrillo is chiming in. Alpha 7 seemingly just picking up these points left and right. Hamzy with a chance, and there's a second knock as well. Weibo Gaming starting to falter as Hamzy crests the door frame. Ming, though, with the hold, with the chance to take down S2G, and he takes it, seizes it with both hands, and once more, to cap off their day, blank, it is S2G, 0 points.
Damn, someone was really right. That's crazy. Yeah, S2G going down in pretty catastrophic fashion at the end of the day for Turkish fans here in Istanbul. To me, the disappointments here as well. They were going home.
Goodness me. At least it's not a long trip back home for them.
That's true. That is true. For S2G, though, an unfortunate finish to their day. 7th place, likely to change with Nongshim Red Force still in the game with 3 players alive, and Titans phase not too far behind. It's 4MV, though, who really have found their wings today, soaring towards the top side of the lobby. Faster than ever before. Udo Alliance really also having a rough day. I think if we're going to give S2G a hard time of it, we have to give Udo Alliance the same, because yesterday it looked consistent, today it's looked non-existent.
You haven't even seen the sort of rotational plays that they were making before from them. And perhaps that's more to do with the fact that there are more teams going far more central. You're not really able to make strong rotational plays if you're not just going to the middle and holding it out, right? And if you do Alliance on winning fights, they can't really contest in those central areas. And that is coming back to bite them. In their points totals today, as teams start to look for the middle more so than before. 4MV challenging for those top spots, losing players. Stalwart with a chance now to get back over the top of it. DX Xavier as well, with a position that they hold on the north side of Crater Fields. Potential to be able to keep up pace with them, but Alpha 7 still sit 13 points ahead, and with the position that they hold south edge of Crater Fields, it's going to be another game where they have a big point scoring opportunity.
Yeah, I think if we're looking at Stalwart as well, got to take into account this little rotation they've made up towards the north side of the map. Really, really well done from them. Wrapped around a lot of the dangerous zones. They were on the south at the start of this game. Taking it to that northern side alongside with 628 is a really decent rotate. Could give them a good time. Major Pride setting off, but harried by Pepenk.
Pepenk back into the vehicle. Looking to reposition the rest of Morph as well. Looking to try and wend their way up the western way. Nongshim Red Force phase trading back and forth. Major Pride over on the south side near 4MV, trying to fight through El Pozo. A little bit of urban warfare on the south side to give us some entertainment as time ticks away for these teams looking to put their final billing on the day.
Titans up against Stalwart here. They got Shadow hidden behind them at the moment, as all shadows are. We'll see if Action can take those shots. Doesn't quite hit it, but they're holding their ground right now. A little bit of a western shift on their rotate. 628 plowing them back.
Forcing them off. Bamboo trying to reposition for Titan. Trying to get a better angle because the blue zone is going to make that angle worse and worse and worse because you can't really withstand the force of that one. Bamboo very low, actually. Taken down low by Icy and pulled out of the buggy as well. A lovely little knock there for Stalwart, but there's a trade. Shadow strikes from the sidelines. A lovely off angle to find that crossfire, and the 3-1 split that we've seen from a lot of teams in this tournament, in these grand finals, Blank, is going to be punished onto Icy.
It does technically work, it's just the way you play it, and I think Icy there takes a bit too much of an aggressive approach. I don't think he needed to go for the confirm. With the circle moving down towards the southeast side, once again gives Alpha 7 another in here. 4MV do go down. 89 points with the 1 point they found, takes up to 90. Stalwart losing Icy though is pretty grim for them. It's not something they want to see at the end of the day here.
It feels like the Circles want Alpha 7 to win this tournament as well. They've just been shrunk on again. Over on the north side, 628 going to find a departure from DX Xavier's position on North Crater Field and try and move over towards Stalwart, towards their engagement with Titan Esports. And try and get ahead of the curve on that spot. Trying to guard them out with a 3-1 split, Blank. Sunan left as a backstop towards DX Xavier, who actually may be leading a little bit of a salvo over towards this area. They might want to turn their attention further south. Action stepping up, trying to move in behind Titan, and Shadow is caught. Top the one to do the dirty there, and Action gets the flush. Potential to nade over the top in towards Titan on this roadside. 97 close by to the shack, and they've got to be wary of this position, Blank. They have to be careful moving in this open ground.
97 and Suki. Bamboo need to get out of here now. Sends over towards the compound. Loops is very close to him, just edging their way along the circle like a tightrope at the moment. Stalwart have a bit further to go here, but with 33Z getting taken down by Lamborghini, as you were saying, leaning off to the side. I can sense some kind of danger coming through from this side of the map. Nurzed will spot out Sunan. Does a mighty hefty amount of damage on that side, but necessary for that to come through from Nurzed. Forces the heal off, gives him more time to get through with a party bus. Stalwart know that they need more points here at the end of the day. Alpha 7, it's what I talked about right at the beginning. This team doesn't really have bad games. They will just consistently hit those points game to game.
I mean, when you give it a circle like this as well, you've got to be capitalizing on those points. That's exactly what they'll do. Titan Esports seemingly overwhelmed by Stalwart's position on the northwest side. 3 players alive for Stalwart, and they're picking up points. You can see they're back up into that second place position. 4 eliminations so far. They have lost a player, but they're still in a decent spot here. However, Alpha 7 holding face to a lot of these teams. Again, Alpha 7 on a 3-1 split with Revo on the backstop.
Honestly, for Alpha 7 right now, this is one of those games where the circle shifts on them again. It's fairly unlosable, right? I think that when you look at their position up on the high ground, where it's very difficult to get up there without a long, lengthy setup at the beginning of the game, kind of free.
Yeah.
Kind of free.
Should be. Should be. Top Esports getting a little bit too close for comfort, but IHC and Loops on the north edge of El Pozo trying to leave up to the north is very, very tricky, and you have to deal with your neighbors first. Godless close by to the building that Loops currently occupy, and he's giving them the runaround. Stepping on into the building now, spraying down the corridor. There's backup moving on in the form of Alex, I think that is, right up into the wall. They're playing split, taking control of the high upper floor there. Alex skirting around the edges as well. Nades coming on through. IHC still 2-2 though. They're just looking for an opening. Loops not presenting just yet.
Godless, practically on his own here. Pretty bold that he goes to take this push by himself. Loops is behind him, moves through the building, gets upstairs, causes commotion, drops a nade in. Smoke goes through. It's a good Molotov upstairs as well to keep him off. The fact that Godless has been able to get up here is honestly silly. Puts out the fire as fast as possible and gets the kit on. I am unsure what's going on here from IHC. Finally, Alex comes in with some backup, but does get taken down. Demo's here alongside him, and she's very low.
They're looking for the drop down.
Oh,
What a
Godless.
shot from Godless. From the heavens descends, and he will be able to put the final nail the Loop's coffin. That's the end of their day. Around 50 points earned so far on their tournament. And it's looking a little bit worse for them as well. Another nice pickup for IHC. However, in the meantime, Alpha 7 took a knock. They got the res over on that hillside. And now it's Stalwart and Morph trying to fight for the hills to the west of their side. At the moment, it looks like Stalwart are getting the better end of the deal, but action is down, and they only have 3 players total, remember. Pepenk is going to be flushed away, though, by Top, as he looks for the res onto his teammate.
Pepenk down and finished. Stalwart's not, you're right, it's not looking too bad. Weibo Gaming coming up against, I believe this is the last player coming through from 628.
Sunan. Over on the north side for 628. But Alpha 7 seem to have spotted something out this way, and SUK gets hit. Takes the shots from Carrillo. Sunan might actually be able to get the flush down there. Mafioso takes a knock as well, so they do need to be a bit careful here. Try and keep together, try and keep these reses in. They have fully grouped up now. I guess 4.
Carrillo, and some replays from him. This was some awesome shots from him to take out a couple of players in the back line there from Luke before they even made it over towards where IHC were playing. Lamborghini also chiming in towards a lot of these engagements. Right now, DX Xavier is very much playing their own game over in the field on the northern side. Not really poking their heads out too much at all, just banking on this compound. But yeah, this game from Alpha 7, look at their positioning.
On that mesa, on the top, on the high ground. It is so rough to try and do anything in the general vicinity. Bobohofer Morph has actually managed to go through the foothills of this area and get into a very central position for them. Same sort of story for Sporter of Nongshim Red Force. We'll see if the teams from El Pozo can leave as well, because of course IHC winning out their fight over on the north side. They now only have Judo Alliance as their neighbors. Can they make that break across? Because it is so tricky to do with Alpha 7 having sight lines down towards you. Look at the angle that Senab has over to them. There's just no way that you get out unpunished.
Top sees the nade. Whiz on pass and going to try and send one back of his own. Don't think it'll be on target. There's some quick repositions coming through from Weibo. Ming and Weimau. Sunan underneath. Trying to live this one out as best as he can. Titans did go down earlier. Action's going to try and pick himself up some more utility. A couple of grenades, a couple of smokes. That's all there is to it. Alpha 7 very far forward now. Good shots from Ming. Will take down. Final player there from 628. Start to move up. It's Lamborghini and Dick Xavier with eyes on.
He's got a couple of shots onto Ming, but doesn't quite convert onto a knock there. Has to reposition to the other side of the hill. Sporter unlikely to want to take shots here, but DX Xavier moving to the edge of this crater. Nades up and down in the meantime between Weibo and Alpha 7, but there's the spot, and Lamborghini is still just lying in wait. Revo pinches the point away from him, however, in the meantime, and gets back away unscathed. Really good turn up, but Mafioso not so lucky. Needs a res, needs a little bit of a hand from his teammate. Now DX Xavier can start to move up. Carrillo up on the bell tower. Needs to be careful because NerdZ seems to have spotted something.
Yeah, NerdZ got himself a nice little knock there versus Alpha 7, and where they're resing is very much out in the open. They do get the res and the heal off, which now alerts Alpha 7 completely to the position coming through from Stalwart. It's a very tough fight to be taking for Stalwart versus Alpha 7. First nade looks fairly decent for damage, but Revo just dances out the way of both of them.
They maintain that high ground as well for Alpha 7. All important, Ming has a complete blindside here on Mafioso. If he steps too far, that's got to be it. But he pulls out the shotgun, he swaps the weapons at the wrong time, and Mafioso, he gets back in. There's no way he meant to pull that shotgun out. It completely cost him the knock and gives Alpha 7 a chance to turn around, but he just about is able to convert onto a rough situation, and Weibo pick up their 5th elimination.
DX Xavier here to join the party, to join the fun. Action alongside with Top, getting information relayed back here from NerdZ. The res is coming through. Carrillo takes a high ground position here. 6 eliminations found for Alpha 7 already, but Mafioso goes down to a little bit of overconfidence, I would say. Not checking his angles. Usually he's very good at doing that. The circle continues to close. IHC, despite a lot of teams taking shots towards them, still make the march inwards.
Look at the elimination counts on the teams that are still alive. You're seeing a lot of 5s and 6s, a lot of scraps being had so far on the final Miramar of today, of day number 2 of the Grand Finals. Teams are not willing to give up yet, and a lot of those points are concentrated towards the top of the tables, to a lot of the teams within striking distance of that top spot. I think FaZe the exception there, 56 points total before this match. They have been climbing their way up where they can, and I think today has been a little bit better of a result than yesterday. Been impressed with the team from Thailand.
Bad time to be taking damage here for action, considering the blue starts to push in. IHC's done more than enough here with Zol. As that send out to deal quite a bit of damage. Now Alpha 7 does move off from the church tower towards the central zone, but Zol has just been a nuisance down on this side for Stalwart. Really nice little plays from IHC, controlling a lot of the gameplay right now for them.
They got out of the north side of El Pozo as well, which is impressive in its own right.
Yeah.
To be able to make that crossing up and over. They did lose a player in the process, and now it's only Xavier with all 4 of their players alive. Remember, they hid in the crater for a while, and now they're back into the fight. Nerzed looking for the challenge. Just Ming remaining. I mean, he was able to take down one of Stalwart. Can he find the next as well? The last player remaining, a 1 versus 1 action, takes the damage from the shotgun. And the SK-12, the specialists from China, able to enact the punishment over towards Stalwart and cut them out of the final match.
Revo takes a knock as well, and Alpha 7 starts to suffer a little bit as Revo tries to take way too much room. I think a lot of players wouldn't really expect them to be 8 teams still available, but this is what this certain type of terrain does to you. Just underneath Credit Fields, this huge rock face, this huge feature inside the map, splits off all the action around here. Major Pride understand Udo Alliance on the way in. 2 players, Flax and Cluck. Could be a great nade from Flax here, and Major Pride aren't doing anything, and it bobbles downwards.
Ooh.
Hits hard. Now just Nomi, good shots from him.
To keep Major Pride in it as well. Naomi in effect both down. They need these reses to stay up as 3. They're right on the edge of the circle. In the meantime, Alpha 7, they took a knock for Revo, and his Carrillo and Senab a little bit split from his position to be able to go for this res. Nades over the top. We're back on board with Major Pride and FaZe on the east side. FaZe forced to take this aggression. Naomi has not been res, so it's a 2 versus 3 for the hold. Effect gets the heal off. Nomi close with the shotgun. Ventora's cooking the nade, spots the player behind the rock, and that should be on target. Nomi goes down, not to the first, but to the second. And there's another one to follow it up. A beautiful clean through with FaZe taking their 7th eliminations. IHC racking up 10. This is a bloodbath, and IHC have another challenge.
This is IHC for you right at the end of the day to kick things up into 5th gear as they plow their way through towards the end game, find themselves their final chicken dinner in Last Chance on rocky terrain like this in Miramar. Now to do it again on the last day of the last match of day 2. But Xavier still in this one to win it. They want to regain that top 3 position. Stalwart spot's now open.
As is 4MVs. They're just about to leapfrog it with the placements. I think they've already earned that top spot there, but can they take down Alpha 7 now as well? Will they fall in this position? Because if they do, it's not out of the question for Xavier to even push all the way up and over here, Blank. They started 18 points behind with the 2 elimination difference right now. They will need quite a few more, but that is one hell of a nade from Venturas from downtown. Demo decimated on the rocks there. Godless and Ziol now 2 players for IHC. They're turning their attention out this way. Godless not wanting the res instead. He's getting closer. He moves into danger, but Demo taking so much damage from the nade. Okay, he's cowered back behind that rock and looking for the res. The double drop from FaZe. They're continuing to press their advantage here. I'm impressed with this team today. with the step up they've had, but IHC, a tall order to take down, steps out, one good spray, finds a second as well, and the roll down from the buggy. He's absolutely mental. The down shots from the top of the rocks, though, find a little bit of a trade. Now just one player up the top. Can they pull it together? FaZe trying to hold on now, and he's looking for it down towards Godless. Can he hold on? It is 1 versus 1 on these rocks here for both of these teams. Godless further down. No, Demo is up, actually. Behind this rock, he looks for the spray. The blue zone is the arbiter of this fight. It's going to put the pressure on, and Godless stops the drop. Mormon cannot get rest here. Onzen's just needs to look for it.
Demo and Godless underneath. Onzen understands he's got a bit of an advantage here, but IHC, they're hungry for it. Rabid animals up the side of the cliff face, sending in with the buggy, hoping to leave Onzen's flat and squashed like the rest of the players on the windscreen of the vehicle. What a finish there from IHC. Just unreal plays, and Godless, he's still going.
He's not got much more left in the tank, though, and I do not blame him. That was one hell of an afterburner. Senab crosses out past the wall. Alpha 7 out. DX Xavier now with just IHC to deal with. It's just Demo on the south. He's super low. He is going to be going down. But DX Xavier with another chicken dinner today. There is so much more to see from this team from Vietnam, and Demo looking to move around the edge here. Can he get a first aid off? I think he might do, but it's not going to be in time. Paragin puts the nade to bed, and another chicken dinner coming on through. What a play.
Alex,
Alpha 7 taken.
absolute served.
Alpha taken.
Absolutely
So powerful over the course of the day.
it's not going to happen.
Oh man, if we're talking place, will they still for that walk?
It's Brazil and Mongolia now. Like, it's clearly, well, now Alpha 7 and Mongolia.
Are you giving up? Are you giving up a Star Wars?
We lost him. Woo! Wah!